12.4, multiplying and dividing rational expressions. So yesterday we simplified rational expressions, which was like simplifying a fraction or reducing a fraction. And today we're going to multiply and divide. So we have to remember, how do we multiply and divide fractions? So let's just review how we multiply and divide. So let's say I give you 5/8 and I multiply that by 2/3. Really all I'm doing is taking and multiplying 5 times 2 over 8 times 3. So I end up getting 10/24. I can then reduce that, divide top and bottom by 2, and I end up with an answer of 5/12. Another way we could do this is we could say 5/8 times 2/3, and we could simplify before we multiply. So if I have 5 times 2 all over 8 times 3, I could simplify first before I multiply. So we could say, well, I can simplify the 2 with the 8. That gives me 4. I'm going to still get a final answer of 5/12. So some people like to simplify before they multiply. Some people like to simplify after. We're going to use this idea when we are multiplying rational expressions. So here are steps to multiply rational expressions. First, we're going to factor all of our polynomials. So factor, factor, factor. Anything that can factor, you factor. Then you cancel out common factors in the numerator and denominator. So you have to cancel top to bottom. You can't go across. It has to be, you can go diagonal, but it has to be on different levels. And then you combine any leftover into one expression. So first thing I'm going to do is factor. So if I factor these, I'm going to get c minus 1 over 2 times 4 over, c minus 1 is factored all the way. 2 I can't factor, 4 I can't factor, but on the bottom here, I can factor out a 3. So I'm going to factor out a 3. So I take out a 3. That was really saying to divide everything by 3. I'm going to be left with c minus 1. So really this now becomes c minus 1 times 4 all over 2 times 3 times c minus 1. So I've now multiplied them together. Now I need to simplify. So if I simplify, the c minus 1's will cancel. I can also cancel this 2 with the 4, and I'm going to be left with 2 left over. So I'm going to be left with a final answer of 2 over 3. So you're going to factor, multiply together, cancel anything, and then whatever you have left over, that will be your answer. Let's look at this one. Here I really can't factor anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and multiply these together. I can't really factor anything out of the top or the bottom. So I'm really thinking I have 8 x squared y to the third times 10 y squared z squared all over 5y z squared times 16 y cubed. Really what I have to do now is cancel things out, simplify what I can simplify out. So what do I see? I can see that my z squareds will cancel. I can see that my 5 will cancel with my 10 and leave me with 2. My 8's going to cancel with my 16 and leave me 2. I have an x squared, a y cubed, and a y squared on top and a y cubed on the bottom. I can simplify, and I have a y on the bottom. I can simplify my y cubes. I can cancel here. I have a y cubed here, that I cancel with this y cubed. And I have a y here that's going to cancel with one of the y's up there. So what do I have left? I have an x squared. I have a 2. I have a y. And I have a 2. So it looks like I have 2x squared y all over 2. But the 2's are going to cancel. So really I just have x squared y as my final answer. Let's do one more here. We're multiplying. We need to factor, and then we need to cancel anything that can cancel, and then look at what we have left over. So I am going to factor first. So when I factor x squared minus 6x plus 9, I have to think what multiplies to 9 adds to negative 6. So this is thinking back to our factoring skills. So I know negative 3 times negative 3 will give me a positive 9. Negative 3 plus negative 3 will give me a negative 6. So I can go ahead and I can factor this. I'm going to get x minus 3, x minus 3. I'm going to think of this as over 1 times 2x. I'm going to factor 6x minus 18. I can take out a 6. That's going to leave me with x minus 3. Now I'm going to multiply across. So I'm going to really have x minus 3, x minus 3, 2x all over 6x minus 3. I notice I have an x minus 3 on the top and an x minus 3 on the bottom. Those will be able to cancel. I also can see that I have a 2 on the top and a 6 on the bottom. I can simplify that. My 2 will cancel and leave me with 3 left over. So my final answer is going to be x minus 3 times x all over 3. And I can just leave it in factored form like that. I don't need to multiply through. Another one here. Just kind of have a bunch of different examples for you to look at. So let's start off by factoring. I can factor the very top. I can factor 3a out of the top. Okay, so here I'm looking at a 3a, so I'm going to get a plus 2. 12b squared, I can't do anything with that. Times 2b cubed, I can't do anything with that. It looks like on the bottom, 3ab plus 6b, I can take out a 3 and I can take out a b. That's going to leave me with a plus 2. So if I combine these, because I'm multiplying them, I'm going to get 3 a times a plus 2 times 2b cubed all over 12b squared times 3b times a plus 2. So we have a lot of things going on here, so we got to look at what we can cancel. I'll be able to cancel the a plus 2's, so I'll cancel those right away. B cubed. Well, let's look at the 3 can cancel. Let's cancel those right away. That can cancel. Here I have a b cubed. I have b squared plus another b. So I'll be able to cancel the b cubed and the b's on the bottom. And I think, oh, I can also cancel. I have a 2 up here, which can cancel with the 12, simplify with the 12. So I can cancel out the 2, and I'm left with the 6. So I have to look at what I have left. I have the A on the top left. Everything else is canceled. And on the bottom, I have the 6. So that's my final answer, A over 6. I have one more multiplying and then we'll do dividing. So this has a lot going on. It's hard to see this. It's kind of split together here, but we have one fraction here times another fraction here. So we're going to factor everything first. The top, n minus 5, can't factor. N squared plus 4n, I can take out an n. So we get n times n plus 4 times, I can factor this. I need to think what multiplies to 16, adds to 8. That's going to be a positive 4 and a positive 4. So I'm going to have x plus 4, x plus 4. On the bottom, I need to think what multiplies to negative 10, adds to negative 3. That's going to be negative 5 and a positive 2. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. So I'm going to get x minus 5, x plus 2. So if we write these all together, because I'm going to multiply them, I'm going to get, I like to put parentheses around things so I know that I'm multiplying things together. So n minus 5, x plus 4, x plus 4, all over n, n plus 4. I switched to x's, didn't I? Let me go back and change these to n's. This should be an n, 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 n. So this is going to be, sorry about that, I always default to x's. So n minus 5, n plus 4, n plus 4. On the bottom, n, n plus 4, n minus 5, n plus 2. So we need to look at what we can cancel. I have an n plus 4 on the bottom and the top, so I can cancel that. I have an n plus n minus 5, top and bottom, so I can cancel that. So I go ahead and cancel those. I'm left with n plus 4 all over n, n plus 2. I can't cancel any n's because I have addition there. I can only cancel things that are together, like that. Those parentheses go around the n plus 4. So I could cancel an n plus 4, an n plus 2, or an n, but I couldn't start canceling the n's. So that's my final answer.